Hello.
Yeah, hello, how are you?
Hey, I'm doing good. How are you?
Good. What do you do for your career?
I'm a product manager.
Oh,
I am just looking around and checking out this new thing called Greenroom. What do you think of it?
I love it because I'm hosting a podcast at the moment, and it's good to network with people.
Yeah, totally, totally. I was looking for it because I know that when Spotify acquired it was mainly related to music and culture. So I'm just seeing how they're transitioning to the other topics, the other important things like business and content and stuff like that.
Yeah. So you run your own business, do you?
No, I'm a product manager at Microsoft right now.
Wow, that's so cool. And where are you based in?
I'm supposed to be based in Canada, but right now I'm in India.
Yeah. So does Microsoft have a headquarters in India?
Yeah, Microsoft has headquarters in India as well. I'm working from the Canadian office, however.
Yeah. That's so cool working from Microsoft. Good on you for.
Ye- That's true. Uh, yeah, what are you up to? What do you do?
Yeah, so I am a YouTuber as well, so I'm a full time YouTuber. Slowly.
Okay.
Musician. I'm a podcaster as well, and I'm a content creator. And I've just put my YouTube channel in the chat if you want to check it out, or it's on my bio, Prashant. If you'd like to
Okay.
subscribe to it, you get new videos every Friday. So Abby, how are you?
I'm good, man. What's about you?
Yeah, good. Good to have you back. How's things going with you?
Well, they're kind of better today. And what about you? What's the time there?
Time is 7:05 p.m. and today I just finished my latest music video called Apocalypse. That'll be available. Have you got my YouTube channel yet?
Yeah, I have definitely got your YouTube channel
It'll be up on YouTube next Friday at 6 p.m.
because the last video that I have seen is that the same video that I saw, and it was with someone named Audrix, right? A radio
Yes,
show with Audrix.
Audrix is a pop singer.
Okay.
Very, very talented as well. So yes, that was with Audrix. I was doing the
And is
podcast.
she from Australia?
America.
Okay.
That's awesome, But yeah, it's fun because I publish the audio as well on my Spotify. So if people want to check lists who like audio better, I do that for them.
Definitely, I'm gonna check that out.
Yeah, I'll put it in the chat for you.
That would be really nice of you, but I'm using an Android and I
Ah,
cannot really copy that.
fuck, that sucks. They gotta improve. They gotta update the app for you guys. It's giving me the
I mean,
shits.
yeah, it's a really, not good way. I mean, seeing all you people able to chat and doing all that stuff, it's really kind of nice. But with the Android, they don't have much features. What can I say?
Yeah. Well, look, if you come across it in the YouTube description, it should have the podcast links if you want to listen to the audio.
I mean, if it's in the, YouTube channel, then I would be able to find it. It won't be hard for me.
Yeah, yeah. So
But
tell me
anyway.
what's going on with. I was speaking to you yesterday in another room. What are you up to?
Today it was kind of a new day. Actually, I'm starting my second year. Sorry, not second year. It's actually my third year. I'm going to start it from, there was some recent news about it, so I'm going to start with. So I was actually making a list of the books that I'll have to buy and the sources and all that stuff. So I was quite busy in that from the morning, and it's actually afternoon here. So now I was thinking to just sit around and see what people are doing in the green room. Maybe someone do something like that.
Yeah. So what books are you reading? Did you have to go and buy them yourself, or are they PDF?
So, hello.
Yeah, you
Hello.
there?
Yeah. So what
Yeah.
I was saying is that the most of the books that I think I am going to read are going to be political science.
Wow, that is so cool. Are these academic textbooks you're reading?
Definitely, these are about academics. Can you hold on for a second? Actually, I'm getting a call.
Yeah, yeah. Yeah, so academia is amazing. Academic textbooks are probably one of the best textbooks you can read to, help improve your brain power. Because they're written in such a way that it's critical thinking with academic textbooks. And that's what I like about reading academia. I remember when I was an undergraduate degree, I was always, having to study academic textbooks because they can teach you how to think critically as well. It's even in business too. Like in business, you wanna read something that's from a journal article, not some idiot who publishes it on the internet and it's just crap. Still there, Abby? I think we just lost him. So yeah, this is what it is in business and life. Is and creating great content is about believing in yourself, having passion for what you love, and just thinking, yes, this is what I want to do. This is where I want to go. Like today I finished my apocalypse music video that I just done. That took quite a bit of work. It was like trying some new stuff out. It's new content I'm trying out, especially.
Yeah.
How are ya? Welcome back.
So as I was saying, mostly the books are about all the acknowledged intellectuals and all those people talking about various issues, and they actually giving definitions. So I have to read a lot about them. What are they
Hmm.
saying, and from which year are they saying, and all that stuff.
Yeah. And what? So what are you studying again?
Political science, bachelor's.
Sure. Do you think it gets very opinionated doing a political science degree?
Opinionated, as if I really did not understand. Can you explain it a bit?
Yeah, like it can be more focused on the left or the right wing.
I mean, look, the thing is that nowadays anything can go left or right because it's a natural tendency. But when it comes to the text and its definition, it is going to be like that. So you read when really, like if I'm reading about Karl Marx, so I know Karl Marx, who he is, and if he's giving definition on liberty, then it's going to be negative. Or if I'm studying about John Locke, he is a liberal, so I know about him. So you really understand who is the person saying it, and even if my teacher is actually a right leaning person, but he has said us like you have your own definitions and you can be on left or right or center. It really doesn't mean. What it really means is that you understanding political science, and that is what the right thing it is. So yeah, I mean, for people it can be, but for someone who is reading the same text for like 5 years or 3 years or the same degree, for him it cannot really be that much opinionated.
Yeah, because that's the thing. I mean, I did a bachelor of music, and some music degrees can get opinionated at times. Because
Mhm.
if you involved into the whole political thing with Richard Wagner, you heard of Richard Wagner?
I don't know about that gentleman.
I wrote that song, "The Ride of the Valkyries,"
Mhm.
and the Jewish population, I don't know, didn't get along with him for some reason.
Well,
It gets political.
for my what I think is that if you are going to really think that a certain community would not like certain person and we have to cancel or we would not liked his work to be published, I think that would be a very stupid move because what we are trying to here to do is that we are trying to get knowledge from all the aspects. For some people, it's good. For some people, it's good. So rather than canceling everything that is there, we should really focus upon what he has said and have a critical analysis of it. I support like everyone's idea. I was reading about this man. He was from, I guess, America or England. I don't know, but he was actually talking about Adolf Hitler's biography that Adolf Hitler himself wrote, and autobiography. It was Mein Kampf, and a lot of people were that time saying that we should be banned and it should not be published. But what that man said is that if you are going to ban his biography, then you won't be able to have an a critical analysis of that personality, or you won't be able to know how he really developed that feelings. And if you read that book, you would know how Hitler had that ideology and how we can tell people to not have that kind of ideology. So instead of canceling, that should be critical thinking.
Yeah, well, Adolf Hitler's Mein Kampf was a banned book, but I think they decided to publish it. Have you read Mein Kampf?
I have done a small analysis of it when I was in my high school, I guess, and the teacher gave us topics, so I actually chose that Magcom. But it was the pages that I read; they were actually more about homosexuality and about the differently abled or challenged people, and it was about that. So I picked up that section. So I read something about that.
So, what is Adolf Hitler's views on all this shit with homosexuality and Jews? Does he go off his head, or is it just
Well,
totally?
if you have to really talk about Hitler, you have to go back to its history. And if you look at history, Hitler was not a very violent person. From his childhood, he used to love his mother. And I think that is a very common thing. If you look at any person, they used to really love their mother. And his father was kind of an abusive person. So he had some kind of, influence about that. And when he grew up, he wanted to go into the Munich School of Art, but he was actually rejected at that time. If the Munich School of Art would have accepted him, he would have been some artist or something like that. But after that, he used to struggle into the streets of German streets, and he used to see German people, Jewish people, having all the flourishment, and they were able to success in economically and socially. They were very successful people, and he used to hate him from them. And then he started off, he used to started people so started propagating about it. And then after World War I, the alliance, which is the America, I mean, not, I don't know who was in the First World Wars with America, but it was certainly America, and they treated Germany very badly, and that was the thing, or that was the incident that really shaped Hitler. And Hitler came up with a thing that the Western countries or the countries in the other European countries would never like Germany, because Germany has always been the leader of Europe, and it was present before First World War. And after losing in First World War, a lot of people had, there were a lot of taxes, and people in German were not even able to have food or bread, and that all shaped Hitler's personality. And then he took inspiration from, if you know about Italy's dictator, what was the name of that person? Benito Mussolini. You know about him?
Yeah, I know who Mussolini is, but
So he took inspiration from him.
Adolf Hitler was a soldier in World War I as well.
I mean, yeah, I mean, he was served into it, and he has seen it, like how people were treated. So he shaped his whole ideology. You can call it propaganda, you can call it anti-Semitism around it. And he just wanted people of Germany. He made them like, look, we were so much glorious in the past, and now because of these Western powers, we are, here in the. And he said them that I'm going to, take all the German people together, and we are going to become a superpower and all that. And people were really happy, and they all came into the bandwagon, and they all started supporting Hitler.
Yeah, because the thing is, with anything to do with World War II books, it's always it's all. Would you say? I'd say it's always written about the winners and not the losers. Like, it's too much one-sided. Like Joseph
It
Stalin.
is definitely, it is too much one-sided, but I mean, it's kind of a thing. You talk about any issue, it has always been written by the winners. You talk about Cold War, it was always going to be written by the perspective of America, because America won it. If USSR would have won the Cold War, they would have written it into their perspective. But it's at the end of the day who is winning an event and who is having the chance to write it. If USSR would have won it, then they would have written it that way. They would have talked about how socialism flourished in the streets of Europe and how USSR, changed or revolutionized the whole globe. But it could not. The reality was that, and America took benefit of it, and they are going to write it about that way.
Well, that's the thing. I mean, Joseph Stalin, he was an evil man too. He was
He
worse than
was a damn dictator. He was. Some people say that you can compare him with the Hitler.
yeah. But no one seems to. They like Russia. Even I think they still got the monument of Joseph Stalin. Russia was a communist country, which is not good as well. But that's what I mean with history, Abby. It's too one-sided. You got to look at the other side as well when you
Yeah,
study
I
it.
mean, to understand the events, you have to definitely look in that way. What
Yeah.
really went wrong, or what really happened about the incidents, you have to talk about it. Like a lot of So you
Yeah.
have to really talk about about the Hiroshima, Nagasaki. A lot of people, really talk about how America dropped the bombs, but did not really talk. Not many people actually talk like what happened after it, or how the people in the Hiroshima, Nagasaki have actually, faced the calamities. And even today, the generations are born because of the radioactive chemicals and all that being influenced by it.
Yeah, well, that's the thing. It's it was sad what happened to Japan, but yet the Americans make themselves to be the heroes, and yet they did something so, I don't know, so disgusting in
I
Hiroshima.
mean, with Americas, I mean, they kind of act like, the world is always with them and they are very noble and all that. But I have a different perspective about America.
Yeah, go for it, share it.
I see like the American perspective is like, they have lost a lot of wars also. They have not even able to make it into Vietnam. They were unsuccessful in Afghanistan. They were unsuccessful in Pakistan mission. They were unsuccessful in Iran. They were not able to find a lot of other people. They were looking for their war criminals in the Guantanamo Bay, or their whole campaign of, war against terror, so-called war against terror, in which what they really did is, they used to intervene in any country they would like to, and they would go there and they would kill people, or just on speculations, or assault them without, having any knowledge about international laws.
Hmm. I see we got Ton Ishk. You there?
Yeah, guys. I just want to say something. Whenever, if we want to do a startup or become an entrepreneur, people ask why in India. That why do you want to become an entrepreneur?
Hmm.
But and they don't ask what is your product and what do you want to do. They ask why. So yeah. So the first reason is to change the mentality to become.
Hmm. Exactly. Yeah, but we're just chatting about history and just having a general conversation. But that's exactly right. You want to become successful as an entrepreneur.
But
But
Steven, I wanted to know how you think about it. Like, what do you think about history, and has it portrayed Australia into a way?
oh God, like Australian history, it's too one-sided. Like about World War I, it's like how do I say? The Japanese. They could have invaded Australia,
Yeah.
but I don't know. It's what happened, but Australian troops are just not as glorified as American troops, you know. But that's the
Yeah.
thing. Politics is involved in business as well, Abby.
Ah,
With
definitely. You look about one famous example that I come across is that BMW. And in World War II, BMW used to make tanks for Nazis, and now they're celebrating Pride Parade.
oh my God,
That is something, very messed up, because you are the same company who are building tanks for Nazis, and you used to have your big logos, and you have to have that Nazi Germany symbol on it. And now you are, rebranding your logo as, a very LGBTQ friendly and very saint kind of a thing. I mean, that's so hypocritical.
that's actually denigrating that a company would do that. I don't know
But,
why.
but
Really don't know why.
Anyways, I mean, what can we do?
But the amount of engineering the Nazis were doing, they were trying to build rockets to go to space.
They had a lot of things. They were actually experimenting on humans, making them superhumans and all that
Even
thing. That
UFOs.
later even uh, okay, bro. That later even people from USSR tried to replicate.
Yeah. Oh, the Nazis tried to build UFOs.
Nazis were, man, they had done a lot of crazy stuff. We still don't know about it because a lot of the things they don't even acknowledge. The president Angela Merkel does not want to acknowledge about what Nazis have done. There've been a lot of secrets.
Yeah. Like when you study your political science and you talk about the Nazis, does the universities denigrate the Nazis, or do they see the two sides to the story?
I see a lot of people want to say Hitler was really bad, but they do not want to acknowledge about the other people. For example, Winston Churchill. No, a lot of people credit him as the sir of Winston Churchill. In fact, he was responsible for the Bengal famine and killing of a lot of people.
Yeah, he was a coward.
He was, and I still see people who say that the monarch of England is actually very nice and all that, and they're not very racist. Well, I'm sorry, she's very old and she has known about how the colonialism has worked. Her whole
Yeah,
family has been flourished because of it. The every person, every street in London is said to be flourished because of it. Much of the urbanization in England is because of the colonialization of those poor colonies. They had extracted gold to resources to even humans.
yeah. That's the thing with history, like, and business is the same. Like, it's always you hear about the winners. You don't hear the two sides to the story.
I mean, I don't have much problem to it, but what I want is that I have never said that you have to rewrite the whole history to just fit my narrative. What I want people is to just acknowledge, like, yeah, it did happen, and we are
Yeah,
regretful of it.
and that's the thing. I mean, yeah, it's interesting. Like when you what you're studying, and yeah, like do you feel you get disagreements with your professors in politics?
Oh my God, I still know about it. I was very fresh. I was actually a fresher. It was my
Yeah,
second semester.
yeah,
Yeah, and there was this person, and he was actually put it in a better way. He was very communal into its way, and he used to really, try to say religion. He used to really try to mix religion into politics, and he used to make it his own way. And
yeah,
a lot of people had, troubles with that. And and we actually confronted him. He said it like, "Sir, you come here to teach us about politics, to not, come up with your own ideology and mix it with it." And he was kind of angry with us, and he did not even came to class for 2 to 3 days. But after that, things kind of sorted out, and I mean, he doesn't teaches us anymore. So I mean, yeah, it does happen.
shit. Like that's the thing with music. As I was telling you about Richard Wagner, the universities don't like Richard Wagner for some reason.
Hmm.
Again, it's because of that thing with with the Jews. But yes, it is true. The Nazis did listen to Richard Wagner to get uplifted as well.
But I
So there's
mean, you cannot really
there, there,
blame the musician for that, or the
or
person for
not.
that.
He did go into riots in Leipzig as well, and I don't know, didn't like the Jews for some reason, or the Jews didn't like Wagner. It's to do
I
with the
mean,
music. Like there was a lot of like even in music, it had to be politically correct. And if it wasn't, it was like you were frowned upon.
I
You were
guess the
looked.
politically correct world is actually a very artificial world. Nothing in that politically correct world is really real. You just say it because of modesty. You just want that nobody should get offended. But when you do that, you're not really talking about facts. And this is the problem. This is the problem why there are so many clashes. So you have to, come with the facts and then say that you are liberal. And I just don't understand what is this politically correctness came up and why so many people, like it.
Or like with TED Talks, you've heard of TED Talks.
Yes, I have.
It's just become like a politically correctness thing. It's like they're always talking about the transgender rights. It never used to be like that, Abby. It used to be educational. And that just threw me
Yeah.
off.
I
They're
mean, I
just
understand that this is also issue, but you cannot give importance to it when so many people are dying because of not even having proper food or about that. You should really talk about issues that matter in the world, not to just your community or your country, but you are talking about the whole world right now when you come to certain things like that.
yeah. I mean, their politics. They're more on the left. I can just tell they're on the
I mean,
left.
Americans are so left right now. I don't understand how they got so much, how they become so much leftist.
Mm. What's the difference between the left and the right? I've never understood that.
Well, left are actually there's only one meaning to the left. The left believes that there should be no middle class, no upper class, no lower class. There should be one class everywhere, and the state should have total intervention. There should be no private organizations. Government should subsidize everything. Government should control everything. There should be no property, personal property. Everything should be on the government.
Yeah,
It's their thinking. And when it comes to right is a more confused thing because some rightists are actually religiously rightists, which believe their community is far better. Some rightists are actually conservative rightists, which believe that we should stick to the old ideas. And some rightist people believe that we should stick to a more more traditional or pro-traditional or the old times or the conservative old kind of thing. So that's the general difference between the two, left and right.
yeah. Because in Australia, like you got the Liberal and Labor. The Liberals on the right, they're more business focused. Like
Mhm.
where the right wing, like Labor, is more wanting healthcare with the government. There's nothing wrong with that. They both got their good
Mhm.
and bad. There's no perfect government, Abby.
Yeah, definitely. The
Yeah.
ideology is simple, but when you apply in the practical life, what I see is that nowadays a lot of people get confused between what is a liberal and what is a communist. In America, in the old times of before 1990 or 1920, 2000s, it was about conservatives and liberals. Nowadays, it's more like conservatives against communists. The liberals are nowhere to see. I mean, nobody believes in free market. Nobody in America. Nobody wants to see billionaires, and they all hate billionaires for because of their success and they are so rich. Everyone wants to want government to provide them with everything. So in America it's more system like that, but if you go to Russia, and you should see a total 100% change that has happened, because right now Russia is so orthodox. They support Orthodox Church. Putin is actually a person who goes to a lot of Orthodox Christian events, and he participates into that and all that stuff. So that is a whole different change from the direct left. They are direct right.
Yeah, well, you look at North Korea; they're a communist country, and I don't
Mhm.
know why Kim Jong Un. He's like a Stalin, a ruler. That's quite
I mean,
sad.
that is the proper definition of communist. If somebody comes up to me and says me, which is the country presently where the communist ideology is properly executed, properly, I mean by book, whatever the Karl Marx has to say, it is North Korea. That is right now doing communism as it is, and this is the reality of communalism. I mean,
What about
communist ideas.
China, a communist country?
No, no, it's not. A lot of people confuse with it. China is not at all. They support, about private properties. They are more like what they have really did is that they control something like they will control the censorship, and they will control the land and property. Everything else is private. You can open up a shop, you can do, but when earn more than a certain amount, like about Jack Ma.
Yeah, Jack Ma. Yes, he's an entrepreneur.
Yeah. So he was very much against the communist, politics and the communist government of China. And the China, what they did, they suspended one of the business in China, his business in China. They were actually heavy loans or heavy taxes were there imposed on his company. A lot of his property was seized, and some reports even says that he was into the Chinese, Chinese, what can I say, some kind of prison, some kind of that, for a certain period of time because he was not seen on television. And before that time, he was very much critical. And soon after his refresh very recent appearance, he became very much good talking about communist countries. So they monitor everything. They will allow you to do your private business, but when you reach to a certain extent, and when you are very much critical, they will take you to some hostage. And this is something very much common to communist countries. But what China is doing is that their one foot is on the capitalistic pedal, and their one hand is upon the communist regime model. So they are doing it into a way.
Well, trying to have that one child policy as well.
They had
Uh,
one child policy, then they had two child policy, and right now, because of the population has really got less, I mean, they do not accept what can I say, they do not show us a lot of the data that is really happening in China. But if you look at some of the very journalism which is out of the Chinese marketing and all that, they have really said it like the Chinese population has gone really low, that they are now accepting three child policy in some regions of the Chinese provinces, because China is a big and the population is very stagnant, very homogeneous. In China, there is no other person from other than China who wants to live there. So they are at a very critical stage. So they want to, refresh their generation. They want more youth there. They don't want old generation, or they don't want a young generation. They want the youth there. So I mean, that is the thing with China.
Apparently, Facebook's banned in China for political reasons. Is that correct?
Facebook, YouTube, Google, Twitter, WhatsApp, anything which proposes free ideas or free thoughts or critical to the government of China, they will criticize it. Even the Hollywood movies they release there, they go through the Chinese censorship. And if they feel that China is portrayed into a bad way, they would not allow Hollywood movies to release there. That's the reason so many Marvel movies are so China friendly. That's the reason so many Hollywood movies are so much China friendly.
Yeah, I mean, because TikTok's banned in India. You're in India, are you?
Definitely, it is banned.
Why did it get banned in India? That's odd.
Because the reason that is put forward is like it was the last year, and it was about the month of if I'm not wrong, it was October or maybe September, something like that. And there was actually a clash that broke out into India and China, and the soldiers of China and India were actually clashing over an issue. In that, there were a lot of casualty on both the sides, and the situation got really tense. Some were even saying at that time that it could be a war, all out war. And because of it, many of the Chinese companies were getting information from these apps. So what happens is that if you are using a TikTok, so what will happen is that youth found it is being sponsored by the Chinese private companies, and these Chinese private companies at the end are being monitored by the China. So what they do is that when they are using a particular Chinese app, some of its share or some of its profit is actually linked to the China. So they monitor all that, and they can gather all that information. If you go to any country, like if you go for America, if you're army personnel or if you're working for the administrative services, you're not allowed to use Chinese app. And same was happening in India. Before that, everyone was used to allow to use it. But then all these clashes came out, and India as a soft policy. So this is actually a soft policy where you ban certain things so that the other country knows that you do not you're not liking what they do. So as a soft policy reason, they actually banned two things. They actually banned couple of apps, but two apps that were very prominent and that had direct Chinese link were PUBG Mobile and
Yeah.
TikTok, and they were actually banned. But now PUBG is again there. I mean, it is again available in India. Talking about TikTok, now there are alternatives of it. So I mean, it's the whole story in summary.
India's got their own PUBG mobile game, don't they? They got their
I
Indian
mean,
version.
it is actually developed by the South Korean company, but it is specifically developed for India because it has so many huge number of Indian players.
Yeah, that's weird. I never understood why a video game could get banned in a country, yet it's not real.
I
Like
mean,
Wolf.
it is the policy of the soft power policy. Soft power policy is actually you target something which is at the same time not to does not causes any harm, but at the same time it represents something big. So if you ban that, you're sending a direct message. So if I want to give a soft policy to America, I would ban the Hollywood movies. So Hollywood movies are not doing anything bad, but at the same time, America would get to know that the country is not happy with us, or they are offended, or they are not liking how the policies are going forward. So it is something in politics. It's called the soft power policy.
Yeah, that's interesting. That is interesting. Why that would happen, you know. But there was a game called Wolfenstein that got banned in Germany because it was ridiculing the Nazis or something like that.
I mean, you can. It's at the end of the day, it's really about the government what they feel should be banned or not. In Europe, it's more about the Nazi anti-Semitism. If anything is about anti-Semitism, it would be automatically banned in Europe because
Yeah,
Jews have that upper hand in the European or in the American Parliament. They have gone to really it. And Jew community has really developed that kind of upper hand in the Western media or the Western politics, that they can right now do whatever they want. And I mean, Israel can do whatever they want and nobody
yeah.
would question them.
Well, there's this whole like for years Israel and what's that other country were fighting or something. I heard about.
Yeah, the Middle East, the whole of Middle East, from Saudi Arabia to Lebanon to Jordan to Egypt, and you won't believe, in just 6 days, the small Israel defeated all these countries. They defeated Saudi Arabia, they defeated the Palestine terrorisms, and they defeated the Jordan, they defeated Egypt. All these in just 6 days or 7 days, something like that.
Shit. It's like the Iraq War you were saying about Guantanamo Bay. Like
Yeah.
that was to do with oil.
I mean, everything is to do with oil. I mean, if America is going to a country and they saying that they are there to protect the people, what real reason behind it is they are there for the oil. That's the reason they were in Afghanistan. I mean, not in Afghanistan. That's the reason they were in Iraq. That's the reason they were in Iran. That's the reason they are in Saudi Arabia. That's the reason they are in Yemen. That's the reason they are in UAE, just for the oil. Because Russia has a lot of natural gas and America does not have that kind of thing.
Yeah, but how come America hasn't invaded Russia? Because Russia was an enemy to the Americans in Vietnam. Yet Russia has.
Because they have that history, because Russia has a lot of nuclear weapons, and nobody would want a nuclear weapon warfare to break out. Nobody would. And Russia has lot more number of nuclear weapons than America. Some
Mm,
reports were also coming. They really, do not tell a world about what they're really having, because it's an authoritarian government. And seems the reason things with China, they are an authoritarian government and country, so they would not tell you about what is really happening. They just give you a meek picture, or a very, what can I say? Not a very clear picture, not real data. They just give you some amount.
yeah,
So I think that's the reason America would not like to invade Russia at any point of time.
yeah. I mean, you look at King Jong Un, and yet look, he's doing God knows what he.
Genocide, mass fires, killings, everything. But America cannot invade it because the North Korea is actually supported by China, and China is supported by Russia. So if America attacks today North Korea, then it means that America is actually attacking China and Russia, and there would be a world war.
Well, Donald Trump actually shook Kim Jong Un's hand.
Yeah,
Tried.
there
Well,
was a thing, but after that, what happened is that first thing we need to know is that Kim Jong Un is going to be there before his death. He's not going to leave the office. But with America, it's a democratic country, and with every change of democratic country, there is a new president, and that new president can be a Republican or a Democrat. So
yeah,
after the change of Donald Trump, what theory things were that the Biden came from the other side of the party that was against all this and all that. So they nothing really worked out. Nothing was
yeah.
that much progressive.
Biden's on the left, and Donald Trump, he'd be on the right by the sounds
He's
of
a
it.
more conservative guy. He's a businessman. He's a Catholic, conservative kind of a person.
How come so many people hate Donald Trump? I never understood that.
It's more has to do with the domestic politics, because for us who are watching Donald Trump from a far side, like sitting at home in Australia or in India, for us it more has to do with the international politics. And Donald Trump is a hell of an amazing precedent when it comes to international relations, because during his tenure there was no war in Afghanistan, no war in Israel, no terror
Yeah.
attacks. But domestically, not really people like him because again, he is a right-leaning person. So in America is right now a left-leaning country, and they would never like a right-leaning person. That's the simple
Look
thing
at
I can put.
George Bush. He was on the right, and yet all he was going on about was just war all the time.
About Bush,
Yeah,
Bush senior or junior?
Junior, the one, the last president with the Guantanamo Bay,
Ah,
that one.
ah, that one. I mean, I'm not that much aware of the politics of that time. But what can I see today is that Bush, people don't like Bush, people don't like Bill Clinton, people don't like Trump. A lot of people don't even like Biden I mean, a lot of people that voted for Biden, they don't like him. But a lot of people like Obama. Now, I mean, Obama was kind of a likable guy. He had the know how to work the domestic and the international relations, but not really people like him.
Yeah, I mean, Obama really didn't do at all. Like, name one honest American politician out there. They're all just promising, Abby.
Mhm.
I mean, it's similar in Australia. I mean, in Australia, well, at least our government cares
Mhm.
for us.
Mhm.
But what about India? Talk to me about the government where you are. How do you feel about it?
Talking about the government that is right now there, India is a big country, so we do not really have two-party system. We have a multi-party system.
Oh,
And from 1990 to 2014, India had what had is a lot of parties coming together to form a government, and that is the reason a lot of people in India did not like it. And then there was this person like Narendra Modi, and he was the person he came up within a total majority, more seats. He actually got more than half of the parliament. So
yeah,
a lot of people liked him. He came in 2040. He came in the recent elections in 2019. He is more a conservative guy, but he actually likes privatization. And that's the thing. A lot of people like him. A lot of kids, or a lot of the left-leaning people, a lot of the communists in the country, they don't like him. That's the reason. If you're talking about me, I think he's better prime minister than the prime minister we had before.
is he on the right or the left?
Oh, he's on the right.
Yeah, yeah, it's interesting. It's
He's a
interesting.
right-leaning guy, not a total extreme right, but he believes into a more conservative approach to certain issues and privatization. These are the two pillars that he has: a conservative idea or a society, and a privatized sector where there is to boom to more private sectors. More entrepreneurs are be given schemes and all that. And communist people don't like that. They want the state to have to cancel every private organization because
Yeah,
communists
because
are allowed in my country.
King Jong Un, so people can't vote in North Korea.
No, I mean they don't actually vote.
That's
They don't
fucking
have a lot of
crazy.
things. But seems the case in a lot of Middle East countries too. But what with them is that they have a lot of resources and they can sustain themselves. But with North Korea, they do not have any geographical resources. They do not have any other sources to sustain them, and they are fixed into this prison, North Korea, where I just don't know how the people live there.
Yeah, because if you try and escape the border, they
They will shoot you.
exactly. That's like communist Russia or communist Hungary in World War Two.
I mean, that's what I said. North Korea is the proper definition of a communist country. What Karl Marx would have said, what Vladimir Lenin would have said, what Joseph Stalin would have said that, yeah, this is the communist country. That kind of a communist.
Oh my god! And then you got South Korea, which is like you got all because people try to go to South Korea.
Oh, super developed, like their mobile companies, Samsung, their infrastructure, their science, technology, their healthcare system, they're super developed. You can compare it to Japan. I mean, that kind of developed.
Yeah, Japan's very business. I've noticed very
Yeah, I
business.
mean, super business. One of my friends, he is into Japan and he was studying it, and he told me like Japanese people are, always in hurry. They always care about work as their worship. They treat workplace as their religion. I mean, they are into it. They go to their offices at very punctual time. They respect their seniors. They, give advices to their juniors. The crime rate is very low. The healthcare facilities are actually very good. And Japan is like, you can live into country. It is not very expensive country like a European country would be. You can actually live there and sustain yourself.
But see, I wanted to ask about healthcare in India. Is it private or is it good or bad? How is it where
It's
you
it's the both way. I mean, India has a mixed economy, so there are government hospitals also, and there are private hospitals also. Like, so, if today, Stephen, you get sick, and you want to, it's up to you. You want to go to a government hospital, or you would like to go to a private hospital. And same's the case with hospitals, with schools,
are?
with the companies and all that. It's a mixed economy. I mean, you can find both the options.
That's interesting. That is interesting. Wonder what if you're in a communist country and like, what would the healthcare be like there?
It would be very bad. Looking at Russia, if you go today on see how people were being treated in the Soviet Russia, they were treated very badly. And I know I have seen this video. There was the first branch that was open up in Russia of the McDonald's, and there was a huge line. A lot
Yes.
of people were in queue just to go there and just to sit and just experience that one burger. There was just one fucking burger, and people were so excited. So you can just imagine how people were being treated into Soviet Russia.
So Russia's not a communist country anymore. Is that
No,
correct?
it's not. It's actually an authoritarian government where, same like China, a lot of things are being, what can I say? Not censored, but a lot of things are being checked by the government. But you can open up a private thing.
But
Government says that you are not criticizing them. That's it. You cannot criticize government if you're living in Russia or China.
because the G7 summit. You heard of the G7 summit?
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
The Australian Prime Minister Scott Morrison was invited, but apparently they blame China for everything in the G7. I don't know what
Mhm.
they did there.
A lot of people were talking about the meeting between Biden and Putin, and a lot of people were interested into that also.
Hmm. I wonder what goes on behind closed doors. What they're really going on about.
I mean, what can we say? I also have this fascination what they're really trying to talk about, because when they are into a meeting, they're deciding fate of whole world or the whole country and all that.
Hmm. Shit. Crazy that is.
Mhm.
See, everything's made in China now because it's cheaper.
Because what China does is that he is benefiting globalization as no other country. What China's model is, it's very simple. So what they do is that they produce everything they can, from your pan zipper to a plane to a car, and all the bad products they are having, they actually dump these bad products into a third world country, or some African country or some Asian country. What they do is that they take all the good stuff for their own self, and they dump the bad stuff in other countries at a cheaper rate. So at the same time, they are able to sell their bad stuff, and they are able to challenge the local products with that, because of their products rate is so low. And that is the reason how China is actually flourishing.
Shit, that's interesting. Yeah, it's interesting the world economy and what's going on. Like Donald Trump, he wanted to make things like be made in America again, like the old America,
I
where
mean,
no.
make America great again, but that's not possible anymore.
Oh, he tried it, but I don't know.
Yeah, I mean, he tried it, but I mean, every great empire has a certain time period. And after that one certain period, the empire, if you do whatever you want to, you can have reforms, you can have development issues, you can have whatever political reforms. But after that certain period, that empire is going to fall from within. You can see it into the Roman Empire fall like that, the British, the colonial empire fall like that, the German Nazi empire fell like that. Not, I don't consider it to be an empire anyways, but the Soviet Union, that actually felt like that. And same is the issue with America. It's been more than 100. I mean, it's been in 100-year span, and now America is falling from within. No other country is actually challenging America, but it's the own people of America that challenging the own government. Look at right now. There's protest. There is vandalism. There's anarchy in every state in America and shooting and all that.
Yeah, well, Australia too has a lot of debt to China. A lot of debt. Especially
I actually heard about it.
because of all the money they borrowed from the war and the United Kingdom. I mean, I think it was only a couple of years ago that the Great Britain just finished off paying their debt from all that money borrowed in World War II. God,
Castly.
I know. Yeah, but this is what our governments don't talk about: the debt the country owes to. I'd say they're borrowing money from China.
China is sponsoring a lot of money to Africa. I mean, a lot of people say that right now China is actually sponsoring more than 50 countries. More than 50 countries. They are building roads in the country, and after building the road, they use it as their own. And they said that we will build a road in your country. Resources would be our, money would be our. You just give us the permit to use those roads. And by using those roads, they are actually coming into any country they wish to and going out.
Yeah, they do it in Australia. They go and buy up the land.
Man, yeah, the Chinese people are really playing smart. And the thing is that you cannot really criticize. I mean, even if I'm a Chinese person, I don't like how the government is doing it. I cannot criticize it. They will abduct me. They would kill me. They would, mishandle me somewhere,
Yeah,
and nobody would know about it.
yeah, yeah. I mean, we'll talk about the coronavirus pandemic. Wuhan went into a lockdown for 80 days,
Uh-huh.
but like I don't know why this coronavirus has just become a political football match, blaming each other where the virus came from.
I mean, a lot of the things has to do with whole origin story because I still remember first time any person who claimed it like it's an Chinese virus. I guess Donald Trump just openly said it like it's a Chinese virus. You cannot deny it. And
Yeah,
then there was this whole probe. The all other countries that there. Emmanuel Macron tried to do that, but then he did not, push his own self, and he was stick to it. A lot of other peoples in India, there was news channels that actually said that it's a Chinese virus, and yeah, we are going to do that. And then the pressure was building up on WHO, which is the World Health Organization. So they sent their team to, to the lab research where they said that it is the Wuhan lab where it was actually made, but the Chinese government did not allow them to, visit to the lab. And I don't know what kind of research they did. So they were not allowed to visit the Wuhan lab. And even today, it is not. No one is allowed to visit the Wuhan lab.
yeah, that's really fucking weird. China
I
refused
mean,
further inquiry into COVID-19
so I
origins.
would. I mean, definitely. I mean, China does not shows you the real number of people who were affected by the coronavirus. China did not show you when the first doctor, if you know about the person who actually, wanted to report it to the world, he was abducted, he was had something, and then the person died. And for into the mysterious reasons, China actually abducted Jack Ma when he was, very much criticizing the government. He was not seen for about a month or so, and when he came back, he was praising Chinese government all of a sudden. I mean, that is all strange. It comes down to the thing that what is China right now hiding from the world? What is it?
Yeah. Well, you look at SARS when that broke out in 2003. It was in China.
Mm.
That
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 was I
that could have been a global worldwide pandemic. You know that.
I mean, I don't have much knowledge about SARS, but I mean, I don't think a pandemic like the corona was exist has been done. The last that kind of a pandemic that killed so many people were the flu or the Spanish flu, or you can call it anything. It was in 1980, 1921.
Yeah.
something like that. And after that, it's this time. So it's all there.
But see, like, why would it become such a political football match just to get a vaccine? I don't get that.
Because it's end of the day, people want to, tell their own government. Like I am a leader in Germany. Then what I would do is that I would, store more and more vaccines, and then I would go to the public and say, look, I'm such a nice person. I care for you so many that I have, stored all the vaccines, and it's because of you. And they want to do this, and every political leader right now in the country want to showcase themselves as they really care for their own people, and they are, storing more and more vaccines, and they want to create more vaccines and all that, so that they can go to get vote. They get a place in history where they are said that they are the people which really helped the country, all that.
Yeah, I mean, that's just crazy stuff. Like,
It is.
do you think this virus was made in a laboratory?
Well, I mean, I did not really have anything to say that it was made in laboratory, or there's no proof of it. Simple thing is that right now we can just speculate about it, but there is no proof of it. So I'm still waiting for some proof or something which can say that it was actually made. Because I do not believe, like, someone on the Reddit or someone on Twitter, I would not never believe that person. I would wait for the real tough proof. I'm still waiting for that.
Yeah, I mean, there is, there could be a bioterrorist attack in the future.
Of course, and it's very deadly.
That's with a disease. Like, do you think that this virus is a prediction of it, or it's preparing us for something like that in the future in a political
I
way?
guess I guess I can totally say now that world is going more and more modern with its war tactics. In
Mm.
World War II, we used to have bombs and nuclear weapons. Then we came up with the drones. Then we came up with the missiles. Then we came up with the space missiles and all that. Now they want to really hit the impact. They really want to target the poor people who are living in the country, because targeting the army won't make much casualties, or any country would send more forces. But when you attack the population, the normal civil population of the country, the whole society would collapse, and then the country has to face the loss. I mean,
I know it's pretty bad, man. Like, I don't
and
know. Like, all countries blaming each other for this virus. Yet the World Health Organization was saying it came from a fish market.
yeah, the Wuhan fish market.
So I don't understand why countries want to blame each other for it.
Yeah, it's about the politics. It's about winning the elections. It's about projecting the country. So it's really about that.
And what about Black Lives Matter? Remember George Floyd who died? I mean, that was quite sad.
That was quite sad, and it sparked the whole issue of racism in America. And even after America being democratic for more than 200 years, still has these problems. I mean, yeah, that was really sad. That was really bad, actually.
Yeah, I mean, but all this racism stuff's been going on before. How old are you? Me and you were born.
Sorry,
All this racism has been going on before me and you were born. I'm 27.
I'm 21.
Yeah, so this was going on before me and you were born, yet it wasn't a big issue till 2020.
It was actually never a big issue 5 or 10 years back. It was always there, but it was only limited to debates and the news political debates. But what happened is that as soon as the Trump won, a lot of the people saw Trump as a white supremacist, and a
Mm.
lot of people in America still believe it. And then there was these whole things, and people came out on streets, and they just saw Trump as a white supremacist. That's the reason, and they think that he is won and everything was there, and it just lose at the hell lose out, and people were on the streets and riots and all that stuff.
Yeah,
And whatever happens in America, we know the world is somehow going to be influenced because of it.
well, that's
Same
exact.
happened, yeah, same happened in United Kingdom, European countries, and yeah, this the same thing happened in the Western countries.
Hmm. Yeah, not good. Not good at all.
Definitely, it's not good.
You know. But what can we do? You can't do anything.
I mean, it's the reality. That's the how. If somebody asks me what can we do or why it's so bad or why it's so good, I say that this is the reality. We have to live with it.
Yeah, I mean, you can't change this virus. It's gonna be around, but it will
It's
pass.
the reality of the world. I mean, you have to live with it. The only solution of not living with this reality is dying, and I don't think anyone would prefer that option.
Mm, you know. But yeah. How do your professors view Donald Trump at university?
Uh, how does what?
Your professors view
Uh,
Donald.
So a lot of my professors actually have this. A lot of my professors actually come from the communist mindset because when they were growing up, the communism and all that was very revolutionary idea. So a lot of them see America as a very crazy state that does not know how to elect a leader. And after electing a leader, they shout that why elected a person. So a lot of them treated America as a joke only.
Ah, shit. That's weird.
Definitely, it's weird hearing something from your professor. So it's definitely weird, but I mean, yeah, we are very chilled about it. America is very far from here. Only thing that influences very much is the Hollywood, and that's the thing in India. A lot of the common person would not care about Donald Trump. He would care about the next Marvel movie. He would care about the next Brad Pitt movie, or he would just care about the movies and the food stuff and all that stuff. A normal
Mm,
person does not take interest in politics that much.
mm. Yeah, exactly. You know, it's yeah, I don't know. I don't know. It's weird.
Definitely, it's weird.
You know, it's what can you do? Can't do anything about it.
I mean, well, the thing we can do is that we can, know about this, and maybe in future generation, we can tell our, children's and grandchildren's about what really happened when we were young. That is the same thing that a lot of people do. How the old people say that in our times the things were different, and now the things are different. I guess everyone has to do the same thing.
Mm, yeah, just have to stay safe. You know, but yeah, politics is complicated, especially in music as well. Like, if something's not politically correct, they can use it against you as a musician.
That's very saddening. I don't think politics should be mixed with the talent and the skills, like the sports or the music or something like that.
Well, I think it was Dmitri Shostakovich. He had to write everything that was politically correct. As I think he was a Russian composer. Let me look it up. It's been quite a few years since I looked at music history.
Mm,
Dmitri.
I actually never in India. There's never that much talking about the music history. I know about Indian music history, how music was developed in the 90s, 80s, 70s, and all that. But with the world music history, I have a poor knowledge about it.
Yeah, Abby. He was a Soviet composer and a pianist for the Soviets.
So, what was his name again? Can you say it?
Dmitri Shostakovich.
Oh, confusing name, Dimitri.
No, but you get to see how like politically correctness in music. It does happen, dude. You know that.
Yeah, I mean, yeah, I mean, Talking about politics being in music, I was just thinking about it. Like, why would people do that?
I know.
Just for their own gain, I guess.
Yeah, you know.
Yeah,
But you can't do anything about it.
we
It's
can
just,
just wait for the times to change.
yeah, the times have to change.
But nothing is constant for that. I can surely tell that if we have changed that way, in future we would again change. I mean, I can tell you the conversation we are having right now, after 5 years, it would be a whole different type of conversation.
Yeah. Like, do you think the world in the future is going to be powered by robots?
I mean, I am not someone who is that much into it, but you can see it. Like the robots have actually replaced a lot of people from their jobs. You don't see. I mean, we are using a phone right now, and I'm talking to someone who is sitting in Australia, and you're talking to someone who is in India. That was
Amazing.
not possible 5 years or 4 years ago.
No. I mean, we had Skype and all that, but not to sit down and do an audio chat.
Yeah,
This is pretty
yeah.
cool by Green
I
Room.
mean, I still remember one of my relatives. He's actually in Australia, and when my mom, she used to call her, she used to think about it, and we used to do that, balance of it. Like, oh my God, we have to call her. There is going to be doing that, and the conversation was about to be 2 minutes, 3 minutes, because everything was very much, there. And nowadays, we are doing video calls and we are doing audio chats about the issue for more than 1 hour, I guess, and we
Mm.
do not worry about it. So internet or the technology or the robotics to it, it has really changed the way how the world it is. It has made more simple, but at the same time, it has made us kind of very lazy, because nowadays nobody would go out of their home to a music shop, buy a record label, come to home, play that off. I would just sit down on my Spotify and just play the music.
Yeah, you can even play my music on Spotify, Abby.
I'm going to definitely do that.
You can turn it up on surround sound as well. But yeah, exactly right. I mean, record stores are dying out. Like they're no one.
It's a relic of past now.
People do still, but I don't know. Vinyl must be more popular than CDs for some reason.
Labels.
Yeah,
I don't know. I mean, a lot of people think labels represent that classy, that sophisticated, that time of the era kind of a thing. So a lot of people look at that way. Into a CD, it's a more casual way. You can throw up a CD, but you would never throw a label. That big disc and all that thing. It looks
yeah.
very classy to me.
Oh, there are vinyl fanatics out there. And they're like there. I think in Sydney there are like two record stores, literally.
Wow, man. That's good that you people have that thing. Even in India, my grandfather, he doesn't even use his phone. He doesn't even use the normal Nokia phone. I mean, he uses it into calling and all that. But if he has to listen to a song, he would go to his room. He has that bunch of labels and, records from his times. He would pick one of it and he would sit down, and for it would take him 10 minutes to only set up the whole thing. And he would listen to the song, and I just, ask him, like, you have for Spotify in a house, you can just pick up a song from wherever era, from whichever. And he just says that you won't get it, kid. So he just replies me with this.
Yeah, there's nothing wrong with CDs. I don't mind CDs actually.
CDs are cool. I mean, it helped so many people at that time. I mean, it was like 2006. I don't know, 2010. We used to exchange CDs. I used to exchange CDs with a girl, and we became real good friends. And it all blossomed into a relationship and all that. So CDs have helped me a lot.
Yeah, no, they are good. I try to get CDs, but except I got to buy a CD player. I don't have one anymore.
I mean, you would get it on some store maybe.
Yeah, I mean the Mac, my laptops, you can't put a CD in them anymore. I think you got to put like a USB thing or something to put a DVD.
Yeah. One more thing that has been coming up is like a lot of people are saying that the Elon Musk guy, he was talking about this new technology in which you can implant in your head or something like that, and then you can experience the whole phone thing just in your head.
Yeah.
And he was fucking serious about it. What do you think about it, or what do you know about it?
Fucking hell, I heard about that. It's fucking weird. Like, if I'm just thinking random shit, people are gonna hear that.
Oh
That's just
man, yeah.
weird. And, like, no way. Did you hear about, like, in Switzerland, they microchip people?
Oh man, yeah. I actually got to know about it.
Fuck that. I'm not having someone microchip me.
That is like, you can make a human do anything then. You can hack a human then. You can hack a mobile then you were able to hack a human then. Just think
Uh,
about it. You can make a normal civilian into a terrorist, or you can make a normal civilian do whatever you feel like. And the person would not even know about it because he's hackable. He has a microchip in his brain or something like that.
like, that's just creepy stuff, dude. Like, nah. I,
I
I,
mean, you already have people using artificial organs, and now you have this. What do we want to become? A Terminator kind of a thing?
yeah. I don't know. That's just weird, man. Like, I think South Park took the piss out of that with that whole listening to your thoughts with the internet or something. It was like not quite a few seasons ago, and people just think of the wackiest shit.
I mean, in Japan, a lot of people want.
Oh my god, it's like the idea of a robot. Like you get people who are building these robots to be like a real life, human, and they're having a relationship with a robot.
Yeah, I mean, in Japan, they do have.
That's weird. That's very
What is
weird.
more weird is that, they actually create these sex dolls and they have an actual
Yeah.
relationship with them. They
Oh my god.
treat them like.
I think Vice TV did a documentary on that. You've heard of Vice
Actually,
TV?
I saw, yeah, I actually hear about it, and I've seen it on National Geography, Discovery, and all that stuff. And they actually have it. Like they would sit down with them, they would talk stuff with them, they would treat them like their real wives or girlfriends. They would have, a bath with them, take a bath with them, sleep with them. And I feel like, I mean, I don't know, is a human that much lonely in this world that they can't even find a one person to talk?
Yeah, this is strange, Abby. I don't know why. There's a CEO in America, and he does that. And I don't like Vice TV because I feel Vice is too much focusing on drugs and all that. It's just depressing. I hate that show.
Wise, I remember I was an avid reviewer like 3 to 4 years back when they
Yeah,
used to talk about a lot of different things. Nowadays, they are not the same.
they're not. When did they change?
If you look at, I mean, I remember when I was in my high school, I used to watch Wise for, they used to take reports in different countries. They used to experience all that stuff. They were not focusing on just one issue. Nowadays, Wise is very, what you can say, drugs, or you can say about, normal stuff, or the LGBT or the transgender. And I don't say that I don't like all that stuff, but that is not Wise. Wise should be something about talking about the things that the government would not accept and all that stuff.
Yeah, that's how TED Talk started out like that. Education. Now it
But
just
now it's all ruined. I mean, nowadays nothing is that good. It was like 5 years back.
I know. They just want to be politically correct.
Yeah, and that is damaging the product. If you know about the He-Man thing,
Yeah, what's that?
actually, He-Man is actually a very, a famous cartoon of 90s in America, and it used to talk about the masculinity and how men were strong. And they actually, remade the show in 2021. And when the show came out, everyone hated it so much because it was so politically correct. The man that was muscular man, he was killed. A woman was made a new He-Man. Now I'm saying this: a woman was made a He-Man.
Yeah.
Can you imagine that?
Yeah, like I've been hearing about the transgender, right? Who were originally born a man, but they want to compete in women tournament. Now that's
Yeah,
unfair.
it's
Joe
unfair
Ro-
to the women who is trying it.
Joe Rogan was talking about this,
Yeah,
and
I heard about it. Joe Rogan has said it. A lot of people from sports have said it. Like, that's just unfair because even if you think that you are a female, your brain thinks that, but your body is of a male. You have all the attributes of a male would have.
yeah, yeah, I don't understand that. It's
It's
confusing.
just crazy in America.
So, do you run into these issues at university? Do you get into arguments with your professors over this stuff?
I mean, talking about the transgender issue, it is more first world country like that. In India, the more debates would be about is everyone is getting proper food, is everyone getting, able to voice there. It is more going to be serious stuff like politics mixing up with religion, more stuff like that. I don't think
Oh,
in my place we would be talking about how transgender rights are there because we have other issues to do. Like you won't discuss the same issues in Africa or other countries which have not have that kind because other countries have some real fucking problem other than talking about the transgender issues.
well, it's always the transgender issues in the United States. Although they wanted to bring the transgender bathroom.
Yeah.
What the fuck's going on?
What's more crazy is that I'm going to tell you this is 100% true because I've seen this on a television that they said that a transgender man can enter to a female washroom.
Oh,
They were saying that they should be allowed to visit it or, use it. Just imagine what is the level of insanity is that.
I don't know what's going on, Abby.
Can
I
you just
really don't.
imagine? I mean, how would it be like today? For example, I'm saying this that I'm a woman now, and I have the pronouns of her, but I can go to or use any female bathroom. Just think about it.
Yeah, and like there was things in the states where people wanted to sue people because of what was it? If you're not uh, if you're transgender but you're not acknowledging them as a woman, but yet
Yeah,
they're a
yeah,
man.
yeah, yeah. Yeah, you are not using the pronouns of her, and that's the reason a lot of people, say that okay, my pronouns are her and now and the what was the other pronoun? His and her and all that thing, they and them and all that thing. So if you do not, use those certain counter pronouns, then they would scream at you. They would, do all that stuff that is there.
Like I don't know why people want to sue people for that sort of stuff. That's very weird.
They don't have a real purpose in the life. Then
Mm.
they're very free. They don't have real work to do.
Yeah, that's just strange, man. Like, but those are the things that Joe Rogan talks about on his podcast. It's coming up in the States, in the US.
I like Joe Rogan guy. He actually talks about the practical things.
Mm. I think he's more focused on the left by the sounds of it than the right.
I mean, at the end of the day, even if you are a right or of a left, if you're talking about a certain issue with a practicality to it, I would love to listen to that.
Mm. But see, the thing is, what if Donald Trump was right all along?
Well, it seems like he is right till now.
Because I think he will be running for the next election again.
He's going to win. A lot of people are saying that because the conservative or the people supporting the Republican Party are there, and they're going to make him win. I don't think people are going to elect Joe Biden again because he's very old. Not a
Mm.
lot of people like him anymore. I mean, they said that like we regret voting, Biden and all that.
Yeah, strange. Yeah, interesting. But these are the things that's going on in the world, Abby. It's
Messed up place.
I know. I feel like in Australia, our universities are more focused on the left, more left. I've noticed that, especially in doing a music degree.
But I guess that's the whole thing. I mean, I've seen universities and I've seen professors basically, they are having a more left, approach to their, work. And I've seen this everywhere. Even
Yeah,
my professors, out of 10, at least 7 to 8 professors have a left-leaning ideology. Not totally a left, but a left-leaning ideology.
yeah. Well, you find a lot of people in creative arts or music are more on the left than the right. I've noticed.
Yeah, yeah, I've also noticed that, man.
It's more the Labor government have supported the music and arts more than the Liberal government.
Liberal government more talks about the government, the business, and the privatization, I guess.
Yeah, yeah. No, it's interesting. You know what you're going for a year. So you what year are you in at university?
Sorry, what?
What year are you in your university? Third year.
I am in my third year.
Wow, wow. Yeah, because I found too when I was reading the textbooks in university, it was one sided
Mm-hmm.
because
No,
some.
my teacher said it like, if you're going to pick one particular book, then it will be definitely of one side or the another. So in India, it's about if you go to college, there's no one book to it. You can actually refer to a lot of people and come up to your own senses.
Mm, yeah, exactly. You know, yeah, but Abby, this was an amazing podcast with you.
I mean, yeah, definitely, man. It was really nice having a conversation with you, man.
You know, you're always welcome on the show, and feel free to stop by. But yeah, thanks for coming on today, and
Yeah,
uh,
man, it was really nice. I actually started following you.
thanks, man. I'll follow you as well. Let me see.
Yeah,
Yeah,
man.
definitely go check out my YouTube as well.
I checked out your recent videos.
You can if you find the audio for these podcasts, I have them. You can have a listen, and yeah, always great to chat with you.
Thanks, man. Thanks, man.
All right, bye.
And yeah, bye, man.